Hi, how are ya? My name is Robin. I'm also known as Sunny Side Up Gal, and you are my Sunny Side Up pal. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Today is another episode of Fat News. I'm sure you already heard about it, but Secretary of War,
Brother, this guy stinks!
Pete Hegseth, has changed the regulations for obesity and body types in the military, each branch. He's also reintroducing daily PT. We're going to get into it. We're going to watch his address, I guess, to the military, whatever. But I do want to go over some things like what the regulation used to be and what the regulation is now. I grew up in the military, so my dad was in the Air Force for like 23 years, 22 years. I very rarely saw overweight people. My dad was like on the cusp. Obviously, look at me, I'm a little chubby and I was fat growing up, so we were a big family, but my dad was like on the cusp of, sorry dad if you're watching this, but he was a bigger guy in the military, but also very strong. Okay, so the way, from what I'm understanding, I'm not like, this is just mostly for entertainment. You're not here to really learn, are you? From the 90s and before, they go based off of body fat. I don't really know if they go based off of like the BMI. They go based off of the body fat and they do like a tape measurement of like your neck or your waist, from what I'm understanding. So like back in the day, so the 90s and before, men had a maximum body fat standard of 20% body fat and women had a maximum body fat standard for 26% body fat. I'm 31%, I think, 32. So I could not be in the military. Around 1990, the Army allowed a slightly higher body fat as age increased. For example, if you were over the age of 28 as a male, you could have 24%. If you were over the age of 40, you could have 26%. For women, the standards were 8 percentage points higher than men's. So do the math. Okay, so then in 2002, the DoD, Department of Defense, before it was the Department of War.
War?
Why? Because it's politics, man. Politics.
Updated policies for body fat limits. The maximum for males was around 18 to 26%, depending on the age or service. I think in like the Marines and the Army, they are obviously like stricter, and then the Air Force and Navy less. Maybe Navy. I'm not sure about the Navy. I'm so sorry. But I know the Air Force, one of their like nicknames is the Chair Force. There's just a lot more smarter people in the Air Force. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. 18-26% depending on the age and service. And then for females, 26 to 36%. 36%, let me show you what 36% looks like. Hold on. Okay, so these are just photos. Like you can't really base like body fat percentage off of a photo. Like you need to like measure it either on one of those body fat percentage scales, which aren't even 100% accurate, or on like somebody needs to come and do like a caliper test on you, DEXA scan you, I guess. But this is one photo. So 36%, can you even see that? So let's look at a woman's body type. I was looking at this beached whale. Just kidding. I was looking at this big chubby gal. It's 50% body fat, and I was thinking that was 35%. So this is 35% body fat. Hold on, let's zoom in on that. I guess that makes sense. That does appear to be 35%. Now let's see what that would look like in BDUs. That, if you don't know what that is, it's like their camo stuff. Battle uniforms, battle dress uniforms, BDUs, battle dress uniform. I remember. Fat people in the military. Let's do an image search. Okay. U.S. Air Force. I think most of the chubbos are going to be in the Air Force. I'm just being honest with you guys. Oh, there are some armies. How did that pass? He must be in the National Guard. There's another one. So yeah, they've gotten super lenient on weight requirements for the military because who the fuck wants to be in the military right now? Not me, right? So they're letting more people who actually want to be in the military but couldn't because of their weight for some reason before, they still want to be in the military. I think they're also increasing the age limit. Wow. Of who can come into the military, because we've been that desperate for soldiers and servicemen and women, and nobody wants to be in the military right now because they've gotten rid, sorry, I know some shit. So like they've gotten rid of, I don't really know this, I'm pretty sure they've gotten rid of a pension. Like if you used to do more than like a certain amount of years, you used to get out of the military with like a retirement plan, basically. So like every month you get a check, right? They got rid of that. I just remembered.
I remember.
Yes, they do not do a pension anymore. They don't do retirement for people. The military is now having you put money into a 401k so that when you get out, you have money like that way. And that's always been like, that feels like bullshit to me.
It's baloney.
Just saying, like, these are people who are like willing, like, if you send them away to fucking war, they might die. It just seems like bullshit that these are people that are willing to fight for the country. Even if you and I as civilians think it's a stupid reason to fight for the country, these people are the pawns, basically.
Once I make my move, the Queen will take me. Then you're free to check the king.
While over in Washington, D.C., you have somebody in a fucking robe. No, we don't do robes. But you have somebody who does nothing and has aides and stuff to do their job. They can do it for one term and get, like, retirement for life. I don't know. I'm just spouting off. But anyway, let's just watch the video. I'm going to speed it up for you. And we're going to see what Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of War, has to say about fatties in the military. I'm going to do 1.25.
It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular hard PT, so can every member of our joint force.
Have you guys seen that video where he's doing a pull-up? I can't do a pull-up, so I shouldn't be talking shit, but his pull-ups are very strange.
Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a...
I actually agree with him there, because I personally believe that our military, clearly miscongeniality, I wish there was world peace, right? I think that the whole military industrial complex is a thing. I'm over the wars. I think we're all over the wars. Am I wrong or am I right? Right? But if you look at, like, people who don't, like, countries that don't even have to go to war and look at their people, like, have you seen fucking India's army? Small, but, like, look at the people. Who's India fighting? I guess they are, like, constantly at war with Pakistan.
Grow up, I will be army and save Pakistan and destroy India.
Strong army war!
I'm not 100% sure there. Other armies that I personally believe uneducationally, I'm uneducated.
Clearly, she's retarded.
But other armies have, like, way fitter people, and we're supposed to have the most powerful military in the world, and they're fat. We are a joke.
Chairborne ranger, a brand new private, or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at
There's no PT test? There is a PT test. So what are you talking about, Mr. Hegseth?
every rank, there is no PT test. Need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year.
I don't think that I think what he was saying is, like, the higher ups, the people who aren't like basically the office staff of the military. So, like, higher generals who don't have to do shit. There's no PT test. I'm assuming.
As well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year. Every year of service. Also today at my...
I don't think that's bad. I think if there are jobs out there that do have a weight and height requirement, modeling, acting, military service, police service, and other physical jobs like firefighter and shit, I think this is not that bad of an idea.
Direction, every warrior across our joint...
At the same time, though, doesn't this kind of, like, make you, like, freak out a little bit? And you're like, is he cracking down on fat people in the military because we're about to go to war? That's a justifiable fear.
Is required to do PT every duty day. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I can't stand it.
At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve.
What do you guys think? I think personally, if we are supposed to be, I think personally, yes, the military should be fit people. It should be their best people, right? If I'm romanticizing the military like we did post 9/11, you guys, these should be like the strongest people in your country, right? Not the strongest, but like the most physically fit. They're going to go to another country and like fight for us, right? So, me agree. Next up, I just want to congratulate West Virginia because they rank the highest in nation for adult obesity. So everybody clap for West Virginia. Okay. West Virginia ranks highest in nation for adult obesity. Governor promotes Mountaineer Mile initiative. Let's read. I'm going to try and speed up as I read because I know that some of y'all can't stand it. You're probably already watching this on speed anyway, but whatever. I had dairy yesterday and sometimes it fucks with me. Let me drink again. West Virginia has the highest adult obesity rate in the United States, according to the latest data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The report shows that 41.2% of adults in the Mountain State are classified obese. First of all, I didn't know that West Virginia was called the Mountain State. I feel like that's wrong. I'm not going to look it up. Obesity is defined by the Mayo Clinic as having a body mass index of 30 or higher. I'm at 30.9.
She's obese, and hippos are obese.
Anyway, a condition that increases the risk of serious health problems, including diabetes, heart disease, and certain cancers. First of all, that's a myth.
Look, it's really important to understand that obesity is not a medical condition. It's a social construct.
There's no evidence that being fat causes high blood pressure.
Oh my God, enough with the fat around the organs. That is not a real thing. It is made up.
Government Patrick Morrissey has identified obesity and overall health outcomes as major concern for his administration. To encourage residents to become more active, he launched the Mountaineer Mile.
That's nice alliteration, huh?
Which challenges West Virginians to walk at least 1 mile each day. Holy shnikes, that is kind of cool. What's the initiative, though? The initiative also highlights 32 state parks as destinations where participants can take part. Okay, what do you get from it? Morrissey has joined public walks at events such as the State Fair of West Virginia and the Backyard Brawl, while also sharing updates on social media about his personal progress. Since beginning the initiative, he has reported losing 7 pounds. The program was introduced in March during a joint announcement with U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. As a part of the rollout. Kennedy urged the governor to set an example for residents by participating in public weigh-ins each month, even offering to return for a celebration if Morrissey achieves a 30-pound weight loss. So RFK was like, yo, you should like set an example and lose weight so that West Virginians look at you and go, I need to lose weight. And then he says if he loses 30 pounds, RFK will come back and do a celebration. But here's the thing. Yeah, you can have an initiative, but humans are like dogs. So like if my governor, I live in Florida, so if DeSantis was like, yo, we need to lose some weight. Here's this, gator walk a mile every day. I'm literally every single Floridian is going to be like, what am I going to get for it?
Nothing tastes better than some free fucking shit. This is a $10 sandwich. $10 sandwich. And it tastes better than it ever has. Because it was free.
Right? And then if he's like, you're going to get a healthier life, they're going to be like,
pick any bill and pay it.
I'm good. Let's just keep reading. Maybe there will be some. That's it. Public health officials continue to stress the importance of small, consistent lifestyle changes, such as daily walking to combat obesity and improve long-term wellness across West Virginia. West Virginia? Mountain Mama? West Virginia! Mountain Mama! Take me home! Country road! That's it? He literally just said, let's do the Mountaineer Mile, and then you don't get anything for it. Am I wrong in thinking that they should get something for it? Let's do Mountaineer Mile? Okay. Take on a Mountaineer Mile in West Virginia State Parks. Okay, so it's listing state parks in West Virginia. Lover's Lane Trail. God, I can't read today.
Panclocks.
Pancakes.
This is an official Mountaineer Mile trail. You know what, though? It's still really nice, and I guess if you had, like, patriotism or, like, love for your state, and you're like,
you know what? I do need to lose weight. My Meemaw has no legs anymore, and I don't want that to happen to me. I need to get rid of my diabetes. I'm going to go on the Mountaineer Mile, right?
I don't know if that's the accent for them, but I'm not sorry. All right, so I was trying to keep all of my news stories American and United States based. However, I did an advanced search on Google, and I was like, I need my region. It needs to be a region only in the United States, right? And it still pulled up this, and I saved it as my, my third story for Fat News, and it's based in New Delhi. However, though, I mean, the studies are legit, and like, just because it's based in New Delhi doesn't mean that the facts and the science that they've discovered doesn't apply to like the rest of the world, right? So this is a very interesting news story. So pay attention. It's our last one. So a study in New Delhi discovers that severe obesity causes lung to age prematurely. Now we know this, everybody. We know this, okay? Why is that? Let's guess.
It's by the grace of God He gives me the oxygen.
Have you ever walked behind a very obese person? Have you ever been obese? I have. I am, actually.
I'm fat.
Sometimes I run out of breath talking here. People with severe obesity are likely to have their lungs age faster, according to New Delhi, October 7th. People with what the fuck? Dude, they do not know how to do this shit. Okay, according to researchers from the University of Bonn in Germany investigated how the lungs, okay, so this is a Germany study. That's crazy. Huh. What the fuck? State-of-the-art multiomics? I don't know. I need to do another one. I think this is translated from something.
Okay, obesity causes lungs to age faster, Germany.
So this is a journal from Technology Networks about obesity causing. So a bunch of scientists at the University of Bonn discovered that obesity causes the lungs to age faster, and we're going to see why. I think we all know why. It's because you breathe very, very heavily as a fatty.
He gives me the oxygen.
I've been there. Sometimes now, when I'm only 1 point away from overweight, I have a hard time catching my breath. Is it because the obesity crushes your lungs? We don't know yet. We haven't read the journal. So let's read the journal and see. Okay. What effects does severe obesity have on the lungs? A research team led by Professor Dr. Veronica Lucas-Kornick from the Immunosensation 2 Cluster of Excellence at the University of Bonn and the Institute for Molecular Medicine and Experimental Immunology at the University Hospital Bonn investigated that question. The results suggest that obesity causes the lungs to age faster. The findings have been published in the journal Cell Reports. The study investigates, okay, listen, I fucking hate news articles like this. Like, you did an introductory paragraph already. Dude, I'm like this. I'm seriously like this when it comes to books too. Like, I don't need 4 pages of you describing a leaf to me, Tolkien. Like, you did the introductory paragraph.
What causes it to age your lungs faster?
I have to read it all now. The study investigates how lungs adapt to nutritional challenge and obesity. The research team shows that obesity remodels the extracurricular matrix of the lungs, the protein-based scaffolding that gives the lungs their shape and stability. These changes in lung tissue are similar to those that normally occur with age and suggest that being overweight causes the lungs to age prematurely. How do they proceed? The team used state-of-art multiomics approaches to simultaneously examine fats, proteins, and genes for specific questions. They combine this analysis with microscopic image analysis and experiments that show how the lungs actually work. Listen, we're gonna fucking fast forward. Okay, what is the key finding? Here we go. Here we go! Here the fuck we go! In obesity, lung fibroblasts, i.e. the connective tissue cells, specifically accumulate fat, become more mobile, and show early signs of premature aging. That happens in obesity. At the same time, the matrosome, the scaffolding of the lung, changes and the balance of certain protease inhibitor is disrupted. This is not in layman terms.
I'm kind of retarded.
These changes make the lungs less elastic, which can explain why obesity is often associated with breathing difficulties. Interestingly, these changes are similar to those normally seen in older people, pointing out to obesity as a driver of accelerated lung aging. One of the biggest challenges was developing, okay, I don't really give a fuck about that. Okay, so sometimes, like, I literally have to break things down a little bit, and sometimes, and I'm sorry if you disagree, but we live in the age where we have things at our fingertips and tools that help us understand things a little bit more, and I don't think that I should be judged for using a tool to help me learn something. So anyway, I'm trying to get to you. I used ChatGPT. I put the article, like a little bit of the article into ChatGPT and asked it to explain it to me like I'm 5. So I'm going to read that to you right now. So imagine your lungs are like balloons wrapped in a soft, stretchy net that helps them blow up and shrink when you breathe. Now, when somebody has obesity, some of these cells in that stretchy net called fibroblasts start doing weird things. They fill up with fat like little balloons themselves. They start moving around too much and act older than they should, kind of like they're tired. The net, matrosome, that holds everything together gets stiff and messy, and because the things that keep it stretchy and smooth, protease inhibitors, aren't balanced anymore. Because of that, the lungs can't stretch and squeeze as easily, which makes breathing harder. Amen. And since these changes look like that happens when people get old, it's like obesity makes your lungs age faster. I'm not sold. I feel like people breathe faster when they're fatter because of the pressure on your lungs, and also because you're literally like lifting so much every day, right?
Right?
Yeah. I think. I could be wrong. But anyway, thank you so much for coming and joining me on this episode of Fat News. Did you get a good dose of news today. Do you like fat news? I'm trying to keep up and save some fat news reports. Literally today, all I did was I just type in obesity and then hit news on Google, and I do like the most recent news in
fatness.
And that's how I found our stories today. Well, the Pete Hegseth thing I was like sitting on for a week. That happened last week, I think. October 1st or something like that. But yeah, a lot of the news right now is about Ozempic, and I just think that Ozempic is being touched too much. My personal feelings about Ozempic, first of all, I could never be on it because I have thyroid problems and it could cause thyroid cancer. So like when you are that desperate, you're like, I can lose a little bit of weight. Oh, it causes thyroid cancer because it can like fuck up your thyroid. That's okay. I'd rather be skinny. You are too much you need God. Like I think you need to do something else. Like if you're that desperate to like lose weight, like you need to do some like self-love, like real self-love, not like fat acceptance self-love. I'm talking like you need to like sit with yourself and be like, hey, I don't really need this medication, but for some reason I really want it because I want to be like a rail thin, like some people that reevaluate your life. But anyway, I also it causes gastroparesis or it can cause gastroparesis. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I have, and it actually took me quite a long time for me to get my fucking stomach to work again. Story time. When we lived in Oregon, when I was eating like a ton of candy at the emergency room and everything, I obviously I have Hashimoto, so I have like bowel movement problems. I wasn't having bowel movements all the time, and because of diabetes can cause gastroparesis, which is so weird that this medication is prescribed for diabetes, but it can cause gastroparesis. Like I just don't get it. But anyway, I had a little bout of gastroparesis. Some people say it's not reversible, but
well, first of all, through God, all things are possible, so jot that down.
Maybe this was like a premature version of gastroparesis, but stuff would sit in my stomach for days and it would burn. It was disgusting. Like my burps would smell like shit. It was terrible. I went to the urgent care one time and they just made me drink lidocaine to like stop the pain. And then I just had to like chill. I literally had to like fast and just let my stomach just digest what was in it. And then later on I found keto and like reintroduced like healthier gut microbiome stuff, and like fasting really does help though. Like sometimes your body just needs like a break. Like sometimes your body just needs, yo, I ate this huge ass meal, like why are you putting more food up in here, right? So yeah, gastroparesis is one of the worst things that has ever happened, and I can't imagine like taking a medication that I know multiple people have had that problem. If I was like morbidly obese though, like if I was like 500 pounds, I probably would risk thyroid cancer and gastroparesis for it. But also if I was 500 pounds, I probably would immediately get like a gastric sleeve, because I don't think my return, like my investment return on the shots is as worth my return on getting the sleeve. So like if you got the sleeve, that's like you got a better chance of sticking to something. It's basically forcing your body not to eat. But if you get the shot, you kind of have to be on the shot forever. Like there's a maintenance dose for it, and it's an expensive medication because Eli Lilly is a piece of shit and other medication companies are pieces of shit. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that I think if you're that desperate to lose some weight, first of all, you can do it naturally. Stop eating, right? Healthily. Stop eating as much. Stop eating as many carbs. Figure out what works for your body. If you're fat as fuck and you've got prediabetes, you can't have carbs anymore. Stop eating candy, right? There's so many things that you can do besides the shot, but people are lazy and people don't want to make changes to their diet. People are addicted to food. If you are over like 500 pounds, just get the fucking surgery. You're in dire need. You're in danger. You in danger, girl.
You in danger, girl.
I personally don't think the shots should be around anymore. I don't think it's going to be. I really don't. I think people are going to catch on and be like, this isn't even like worth it, right? Maybe. I don't know. People are withering away. Wow. Which is aesthetically pleasing to some people, but I don't know. I'm done ranting, but anyway, I hope you guys liked this episode of Fat News. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you made it all the way to the end, tell me what your favorite color is in the comments, because I want to get to know you. Bye!